transmitting mast they're using, and every mast is registered. This finally gives the police something concrete to go on. Sansar Chand is living in West Patel Nagar, a district of New Delhi. So, after 2.5 months, the breakthrough. Joy Tirke's team monitor another conversation between Seema and her father. The noose around Sansar Chand's neck is slowly tightening. The original recording. The police learn that Sansar Chand regularly reads the Rajasthan Patrika newspaper because it carries articles about his first wife who's in prison in Rajasthan. This newspaper is a rarity in Delhi. They see their chance. The following scene is reenacted in the original location with the same police officers. This is exactly how it was. The newspaper Sansar Chand reads is sold by only 2 vendors in West Patel Nagar. The police mount a plainclothes surveillance of the vendors and of everyone who buys the newspaper for days on end. The classic detective work begins. One after the other, the purchasers are shadowed in the hope that one of them will pass on the newspaper to Sansar Chand. Day after day, the same game. Until finally, this beggar sets them on the right track. He goes to a Hindu temple. The police are at a loss. They don't know what's going on. To avoid drawing attention to themselves, they decide to call off the surveillance and come back the next day. The next day, Police Inspector Jitendra Singh takes up position on the roof of a neighbouring building. He's got the best view from here. Since the early hours, a police officer has been mingling with the worshippers and waiting. And the same beggar appears in the temple again, with another bag of newspapers. Who will pick them up? Hours pass with nothing happening, but the police stick it out, because this is their last chance. The telephone surveillance has brought nothing new, and investigations into people who have moved into flats in the area in recent months have come up with nothing. There's nothing to do but wait. And then it happens. A young man picks up the bag with the newspapers. Observed by the police officer in the temple. Two couriers. Inspector Jitendra Singh has no doubt now that they're trying to cover their tracks. The man with the newspapers is watched every step of the way. He goes to the second floor of a building right next to the temple. What Joy Terke sees through his binoculars is something no one expected. A man on a balcony using a mobile phone. Is it the man they've been looking for weeks? Sansar Chand?
We saw a man in his kurta pajama, a brief moment on the balcony. Then we followed the newspapers, and when the newspapers were taken to that particular house, we were almost sure.
Joy Terke decides to strike while the iron is hot, now without further delay. The longer the surveillance continues, the greater the risk they'll be spotted, and Sansar Chand will slip through their fingers. They don't know whether he's armed or not, whether he's alone or has accomplices with him. What might the biggest fish in the illegal animal skin business be capable of? All they do know is that they must use the advantage of surprise, calmly, deliberately, and quietly.
Crime Branch, Delhi Police. Sansar Chand?
He was very composed. Almost for the past 5 months he was hiding, and he knew one day or the other he would be caught. So when we entered his house, he was doing his religious puja, and he looked back at us and we identified ourselves. He was very composed.
The 30th of June 2005. They've got him, 87 days after the hunt began, because they've treated the case as professionally as they would looking for a drug baron or an arms trafficker. A day to celebrate for the tiger conservationists, but they're still a long way from winning the war against the illegal trade in tiger products. Because Sansar Chand is not alone.
So, okay, Sansar Chand is behind bars, but there's 5 other people who have taken his place. The tiger has become too valuable dead. So what I've done here is
The global trade in protected animal and plant products is worth between 5 and 10 billion US dollars a year. Too much money for organized crime to pull out of this lucrative business overnight. Belinda and her colleagues are fully aware of this. Through their years of research, they know whom Sansar Chand was working with. They know the accomplices and the competitors. And the days of interrogating Sansar Chand produce new names as well. They're in a position to produce an exact picture of the network Sansar Chand had built up.
This is the kind of network picture, sort of zoomed in on Sansar Chand and the various poachers and couriers that are supplying to him, and then the thickness of the arrows are just to illustrate volume of skins that have been trafficked. And you can take Sansar Chand out of the picture, but many of the poachers and buyers that he was dealing with have their own connections to each other.
The bitter truth is, as long as there are buyers for the skins, the illegal trade will continue. In summer 2005, the decision is taken. Belinda, Debbie Banks and other colleagues are going to China, to the regions of the Sichuan province principally inhabited by Tibetans, and to the autonomous region of Tibet. On the way to Litang, a small town situated 4,000 meters up in the Himalayas.
I just thought it was something that we had to go and look at, to put it aside. I didn't ever, in my wildest imagination, think that we would actually go and uncover this explosive bit of information.
They visit the traditional horsemanship game